Nicole Cartwright. Hello, Tiffany.
Let's see. There we go. There we go. Hey, thank you so much. Thank you so much, Ua, for that amazing introduction. Listen, I've got to tell you, I just count it such an honor and a privilege to be a part of such an amazing, world-changing organization. I cannot thank you enough just for opening up the opportunity for me to be a part of greatness. So thank you. I can't emphasize or re-emphasize what you said. What you're doing, we need so much more of. And it is my hope and my goal that at the end of my brief speech, that everyone will be encouraged and motivated and inspired to, as you said, become a member, get involved, take part. It's time for us to be the change that we want to see in the world. It's time out for asking, oh, woe is me and what can I do? I'm just a single person. It is time to go forth and put your hands to something and be a part of that something. So with that being said, I want to briefly share my story for those who have not had the pleasure of meeting. My name is Tiffany Nicole Cartwright. I am the founder and CEO of Awmc Products. We are a Detroit-based, woman-owned, Black-owned company specializing in natural and organic skincare products. As you just saw, our Glam body scrubs are now on stores, in stores nationwide, on store shelves in Target, Walmart, and Stop and Shop throughout the entire country. To God be the glory. Now, whenever I speak, I always like to say, I'm so thankful for every blessing that I have received. I thank God for it. I give God all the glory, honor, and praise. But I often ask the question, I said, you see me in my glory, but do you know my story? Oftentimes we see the finished product, we see whomever, celebrities or famous people, and we just feel like they were born that way and they've aspired to so much greatness, and we think that it's unattainable or that it's not reachable or that they did something special or something unique that qualified them to be in the position or to receive the accolades that they receive from so many people. And so I ask the question, I say, you see me in my glory, but do you know my story? And the reason that it's so important is because when you look at a person's story, when you really understand what it is that they had to get through to be in the position that they're in, it lets you know that no, there's nothing unique, nothing special. It's just that they had the diligence and the perseverance to pick themselves up, if you will, and decide that I will not let this test become the testimony. No, I'm going to do what I can to turn that situation and that circumstance around. And so when I hit that rewind button, I talk about a time where this whole business was started back when my daughter, who was goddaughter, was born with eczema. And I was a new mom just trying to find natural ingredients to treat her skin, to help her eczema. And I literally got in the kitchen and started mixing natural remedies to treat her eczema, never dreaming of launching a skincare line, never dreaming of being in Target, Walmart stores, none of that, because my background was in the law. I'm a proud graduate from the University of Michigan Law School. I studied law. I've served as a clerk for the Michigan Supreme Court. I've served as an assistant attorney general for the state of Michigan. I worked with the largest law firms in the state of Michigan and was serving actually as an administrative law judge, presiding over unemployment hearings, when suddenly, without notice, I lost it all due to circumstances that were completely beyond my control. There were budget cuts, and I was one of 200 people that were laid off, and I literally lost everything. I lost my home, I lost my car, in addition to losing the job, ended up filing for bankruptcy, and actually ended up receiving state assistance, welfare, bridge card, all of it. And I jokingly tease now, and I say I'm the only person on the face of the earth that went from presiding over unemployment hearings to relying upon an unemployment check. And when I say lost it, I mean lost it all. And I often say, some people say, well, Lord, why me? Why me? And I always say, I think God says, well, why not you? And, you're faced with a question. So what are we going to do? Are we going to mope in this? Are we going to give up on life? Are we going to stay in this situation? Or are we going to do what we can to turn it around, if you will? And so I like to say, but God. I'm so thankful. I have a mentor who's also my pastor, and my one and only brother, Art Cartwright. And I'm thankful because he has an organization similarly reaching out to help people to change lives, to be that change in the world. And he encourages radio listeners every week. He says, that book that's inside of you, that invention that's inside of you. He said, those concoctions you've been mixing in your kitchen, those recipes that have been handed down to you from your mother, your grandmother, your auntie. He said, that's a business you're sitting on, and the world needs what you have. He says the gifts that God has given you, he didn't give those to you for you to sit on them. He gave them to you so you could share them with the world. Well, when you talk about an aha moment, when you talk about a sudden epiphany, I'm sitting here listening, and I said, he's talking to me. What am I doing? What is that in thine hand? Let's go. Let's go. He encourages everyone, provides free classes. Start a business. Start a business. Become your own boss. Become that job creator. And I said, he's talking to me, and I've lost everything, so I have nowhere to go but up. So I followed the instructions, started that business. And then he said, hey, go pitch those products, get them out there, pitch them to Walmart, pitch it to Shark Tank, get out there with your business. And in doing so, I'm so thankful because taking that leap of faith, giving God something to work with, he was able to open up those doors. And because of it, again, the products are now on store shelves throughout the entire country. And he often says this, that when life happens to you, when you go through things in life, you will either become a victim and be a victimizer, meaning that you hurt other people, or you become a victim's advocate, meaning that you make a decision that the things you had to endure, the things that you had to go through, you make a decision. You say, I wouldn't wish that on my worst enemy, and I am going to do everything within my power to make sure that no one else has to go through or endure what I had to endure to get here. And I often say now that having a business, being an entrepreneur, my grind, my determination to provide jobs and training and mentorship, particularly to women who've been victims of domestic violence, to women who've been victims of human trafficking, to women who have been incarcerated, who are returning citizens that no one will give an opportunity to. My determination to help them comes from being there. My determination to be a job creator comes from knowing what it feels like not to have one. And that is the charge that we each have. When you've gone through something, when you've had to endure something, don't wallow in it. Don't use that against other people, but make a decision and become determined that you're going to do what you can to turn situations around to bless the lives of others. When I think of it, my daughter gave this great analogy. She said, the blessings that God gives you, what you have, those blessings, they will either be seeds or they will become trees. And when we think of seeds, if you hold them in your hand, if you are a selfish person, if you're a person that refuses to give, if you're a person that will not help and reach others, those seeds will do nothing more than dry up in your hands and die. But when you release those seeds, when you release and open up your hands to those who are in need, when you open up your hands and your heart to be a blessing to the least of these, those seeds go into the ground and they become trees, and they produce a harvest that will bless lives for years to come. And that is my charge today. That is the calling that we have today. We as a people right now, we're leading the nation when it comes to poverty, unemployment, incarceration, and recidivism. The question is, what will you do about it? The question is there not a cause? Oftentimes, as I said, we look around us and we see circumstances, we see people in need, we see people in hurting, and we put SMH, shaking my head. Oh, that's really too bad. Oh, I'm going to pray for them. It's time to put actions with that faith. Don't just pray for the person, be a blessing to the person. Sow a seed, make a donation, engage in an act of kindness, be the change that the world needs to see. Oftentimes we wait on other people. We look to other people to come up with the ideas, to come up with the financing, to come up with the funding. I bring that charge to each and every one of us. Is there not a cause? Do we not see the need? Can we deny that there are children who are starving? Can we not deny there are young girls who are fighting to not be victims of human trafficking? Can we not deny there is homelessness that is taking place in our streets? And can we not deny that we all have a responsibility to do our part, to use the blessings that we have to sow into the lives of others? My charge is that we cannot become desensitized. We must not become desensitized. We can't get to the point where this is our new normal. No, this is not the new normal. No, it is not acceptable. We have a charge to reach back, to help others. You know, there's a story in the Bible where Jesus, and he says, you know, when I was hungry, you didn't feed me. When I was naked, you didn't clothe me. When I was in prison, you didn't come and see about me. And the people are saying, oh, no, no, no. We never did that. Jesus, when did we see you hungry and not feed you? When did we see you in prison and not come and see about you? When did we see you naked and not do anything to help clothe you? And what is his response? He says, inasmuch as you didn't do it for the least of these, you didn't do it for me. The question is, the charge is, in other words, how can we say that we love and worship a God that we cannot see, but we don't do anything to bless those that are right in front of us who have needs, who we can see every day of our lives? How can we withhold what we have, our resources, and not be the blessing that we're called to be? God is not mocked. This is another, my famous Bible quote that I love. He's not mocked. Whatsoever a man soweth, that shall he also reap. He who waters will himself be watered, meaning that your giving, it's not in vain. Because when you sow that seed, when you step up and you make that decision that you're going to bless the lives of others, guess what? It comes back to you. And here's the thing. Oftentimes we think that if we sow a seed here, we bless this person, we bless this organization, that they're going to come back and do something in return that's going to bless us. No, that is not the promise. It does not say that you are going to reap where you sow. It doesn't say that the person who you bless is necessarily going to be in a position to bless you back. But you give anyway, because the promise is that you will reap. See, we can't tell God. We can't make the determination of how the blessing is going to come. But we have to give and be a blessing and sow, knowing that God is faithful, knowing that our labor is not in vain, knowing that what you do for the least of these, what you do behind closed doors, not being braggadocious, not saying I gave this, I did this, I helped this person. No, 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 no. You don't want a man's reward. You don't want the praises that come from man. You want God, our Father, to reward you for what you've done. So you bless privately. It's between you and God. You don't have to tell anyone. You don't have to share with anyone. But know that no seed is too small. Anything and everything that you do to be a blessing, to help the lives of others, to help bring the change that is so needed in our community, anything and everything that you do, it is not in vain. And so that is my challenge to each and every one of you that is watching. Let's step up. Let's support. Let's be the change. Let us do our part. Let us be that change that we need to see in the world. Let's be doers of the word and not hearers only. Know that your labor is not in vain. Know that we are the change that is needed in the world. That said, thank you all so much and God bless you.